This is a quick little tutorial on how I would advise you to paint racing stripes on your model kits. First of all, I'm going to go through option 1. In this kit for the Mini Cooper, they come with some racing stripe decals straight out of the box, and you can apply these decals, and if you're not happy with the color or just the general quality of the decal, I would advise just to place the decal and then make a template with some masking tape around it so you know the exact width and positioning of the stripe. So first of all, I apply the decals on both sides. So now that I'm happy with the position of the decals for the stripes, I put out a piece of masking tape. In this case it is from the brand KIP, but you could just as well use the one from Tamiya. Now I'm not going to buy some fancy fine line tape, as it's just as easy as putting a ruler against it and using a sharp knife to cut your own at the exact width you need or want. And then cut it in half, as I don't need that length, and then just apply it to the piece alongside of the decal to get the correct width. Now I am applying it a bit wider than the decal itself, as there is a clear decal alongside the white stripe that is a little bit wider than the actual white stripe itself. So I don't want to cover that up, as when I'm pulling off the decal later on, that will stick to the back of the masking tape and will be in the paint job, and that's not what I want. So I'm just going to go slightly wider. With one side done, just press it down nicely into place so that it doesn't come off while painting, and repeat the same process on the other side. After I applied the decal, I quickly masked off around it, so the decal did not really have that much time to cure, so with a bit of fresh masking tape it could be easily pulled away from the body and removed. That is option 1, and now there's also option 2. Let's say you don't have a decal that comes with the kit, or just want to do a completely custom stripe. I lay down one side of the stripe freehand, and I want to make one exactly the same, but then just let's say half a centimeter over on the other side. I pull down a piece of masking tape at the width of half a centimeter, run that alongside the first stripe you did, cut your own again fine line masking tape just like in option 1, and then lay that against the masking tape at the width of half a centimeter. Remove the masking tape that you put down for the width of the stripe, and you're pretty much good to go. I just checked it with my ruler to be exactly sure that it's half a centimeter, and it was all the way from top to bottom. If you want to have a symmetrical stripe on the other side, just repeat the same process, mask off the rest of the body that you don't want painted, and move on to the painting stage. Now in this case I want to go for a bright white stripe. The body is a dark color, and white over a dark base does not really go that well. It either needs a lot of coats to get full coverage, which will leave a really thick edge around the masking tape, or it will show through the black, or in this case dark blue color from underneath, and get a really dull, not too bright looking white. So I applied one light coat of silver as a really good base. It covers really quickly, and it makes the white a lot easier to apply and also a lot brighter. After I applied that quick silver coat, I cleaned out the airbrush and moved on to the white. Now normally, if I would not have laid down this one layer of silver, it would need about 4, maybe 5 layers to completely cover and get a bright white finish, which will end up in a really thick edge along the masking tape, and that's absolutely not what you want. So in this case, I added that silver base and I only needed 2 very light coats of the white to get full coverage and a nice bright color for the white stripe. So for the ones that are counting layers with me, if I did not lay that 1 layer of silver down, I would need 5 layers of the white at least. And now with that 1 thin layer of silver, I only needed 2 layers of the white, which means that I spared itself of 2 layers of paint and made it a lot easier and not get a lot of thick edges around that masking tape, creating a super big border and something that needs to be polished out. Now I have a really thin coat of silver and a really thin coat of white, so I don't really have that big of an edge and not really that big of a border, and probably won't need to fix it in polishing. After applying that second coat of white, I just let it sit really for a couple of minutes to just barely flash off and have no dust stick to it, and then just carefully started removing the masking tape and revealing these perfectly nice stripes. I'm very happy with the way that they turned out and really would advise this technique, and I will be using this again in any future builds if I need to apply some stripes.